Hey everybody, it is Scruffy. I want to talk about something that is kind of controversial. You may agree with me, you may not. That doesn't matter. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. There's something on my mind that I feel that I need to talk about, and that is the growing anti-Semitic feelings and thoughts from both sides of the aisle, Republicans and Democrats. And it's very concerning because it's growing very quickly. And a lot of comments are being said in agreement with anti-Semitism. And it started several years ago again. You know, it's reared its ugly head, as they say. And the protesters, you know, at the colleges, you know, they're all pro-Palestinian, etc., etc. Let's get something very clear right now. There is no such thing as a Palestine. There's never been a Palestine or Palestinian state. There's no such thing. Never has been. The Romans back 2,000 years ago called Israel Palestine. That was their own word for what they wanted to call Israel. So the Israelites, the Jews, the people in the land of Israel were the actual Palestinians, if you will. Just to be clear on the history on that, there is no such thing as Palestine, a Palestine state. And I don't care if you want to argue with me or not. I'm not going to argue with you because the facts are the facts. Now, Arafat came along. He's long gone now. He died. But he was the leader there, you know, with the Arabs there in Israel. And he took over the word Palestine or Palestinians. He's the one that kind of encouraged everybody to call them Palestinians, okay? So, putting that aside, the college kids, as you have seen in the news, were protesting the Jews in Israel, or protesting Israel for attacking Gaza. And this is where a lot of the Arabs live, in Gaza. Now, you got to also know another fact. There's Arabs that live all over Israel. And they're very law-abiding. They're not hooked up with the Arabs in Gaza. Okay? These are hardworking people. They fight even alongside the Jews and Christians in the IDF, the Israeli army. They serve in the hospitals as doctors and nurses alongside Israeli Jews that are doctors and nurses, etc. The people in Gaza are ruled over Hamas. It's a known fact. They're ruled over by Hamas. And what is Hamas? Well, you know what Hamas is, don't you? Come on. They're terrorists. They hate the Jews. They want to annihilate the Jews off the face of the planet. They don't want just more land or a little piece of land of Israel. They want the whole dang shebang, and they want all the Jews off the planet, okay? So that's a little bit of history and facts, and like I said, I'm not going to argue, about facts. Well, things are getting pretty disgusting with the anti-Semitic stuff. And Candace Owens, I'm sure some of you have heard of her. She was a speaker and somewhat of an activist, political activist on the Republican conservative side. She was a Christian. She even wore a Star of David necklace. If you see some of her old videos, she's wearing a Star of David necklace. She was pro-Israel. Well, now she's turned completely her back on Israel, has called Netanyahu and Israel demonic, just all kinds of names. I've seen the video myself, and other videos that she has just absolutely gone 180 on Israel, and saying really nasty things about Israel and Jews and Netanyahu and stuff. And she will have you believe that Israel is on purpose starving the people in Gaza, which is a lie. Absolute lie. If you do a search, if you look around, you will see that there has been aid to Gaza. Lots and lots of food are given to the people in Gaza. They're not starving. And then there's a story about a little boy, I think it's, a little boy that, oh, look at this starving little boy. That the so-called Palestinians are saying that Israel is, starving everybody. That little boy has a rare disease and has been finally sent to an Israeli hospital, and they're trying to help him. This kid, who looks like he's starving, but it's not. He's not. It's not that he's starving. He has a rare disease. So, anyways, you got to do your own research. You got to quit believing everything that these people are saying. It pulls at your heartstrings, and I understand it. It's a sad situation, but you got to remember how it got there in the first place. And that was October 7th, 2023. And you've got to remember that there's still hostages being held. A lot of these people that were held were raped and tortured. Even after October 7th, it continues. So please, wake up and know that this anti-Semitic crap has to be stopped, because doesn't it remind you of something? Let's say Germany, Nazi Germany. This is how they used to think too, that the Jews are evil, that they're demons, that they own the banks and they own Hollywood and they own the world and they have the control over everything, and the Rothschilds and Mossad and all these things. Those are keywords. The Zionists. Those are the anti-Semitic language. And it's nothing new. It's not new. It is very old. And it's very dangerous. And it's bad, horrible for America to be speaking like this. Very dark. And I just wanted to get that off my mind here and relay that to you, that just please don't fall for what Candace is saying and these other people are saying, and we're going to have to go to war, send our soldiers over to Israel, and all this kind of stuff. No, we're not. We're not sending soldiers over to Israel to fight war. Okay? Israel is taking care of itself very fine. They have one of the best armies and pilots in the world. And we can help them with other things if need be, if it comes to that. But they're doing great. They did a great job on Ayatollah Khomeini and his regime. They took out some things that needed to be taken out for the safety of not just Israel, but for the world. Do you understand? They did us a favor. Israel is not the kind of people that go out and just cause all kinds of trouble for kicks. It's not who they are. Okay, I guess I've said enough. Have a good rest of the week.